Wow, this is fantastic. We haven't had a reception here since 2019, so this is really special and wonderful. So welcome to Focus 2024. Welcome everybody. My name is Don Schroeder, and I'm the chairperson for the exhibit. So this is our 7th year in the community gallery of the Allentown Art Museum. We have 94 high-quality images, making this the biggest and best show of the year. Of course, I say that every year, but it really does get better. We have, more new members. There's more artwork. It went out again, so I'm going to have to yell. The exhibition is displayed in 8 categories. So a new one this year is abstract, which is over there. Floral, landscape, man-made, nature, open, people, and travel. So as you can see, they're all broken up by categories. A best in category is awarded to one image in each category. And then, of course, we have the best in show. It's only one of those. And then we have 10 honorable mentions. And then we have a Janet Dean Memorial Award. Janet passed away a number of years ago, but actually she taught me how to run this thing. So we love Janet. The judging was done on Friday by OM Ambassador Frank Smith and former South Jersey Camera Club president Sarah Ascalon. They took this responsibility very seriously. In fact, it took them just over 2 hours to finally do the judging. Today, both are here, and they will announce the winners and make comments on each image. So here's an overview of the awards. The Best in Show will receive $300 from the club. There's a $100 gift certificate from Friendship Framing, and a $50 gift card from Berg's Print Studio. Best in categories, there's 8 of them, each receive a $100 check. And honorable mentions will each get $25 plus a $25 gift card from Dan's, who is our local favorite camera club, or camera shop. And then the Janet Dean Memorial Award will receive a $50 check. I want to thank Irene Smith and the museum staff for opening their arms to help us put this on. They are an amazing group of people. They make it so easy, and it really is a treat to work with them. I want to thank members Gary and Karen Campbell, Barry Good, Janet Geisler, Jeff Graybert, Catherine Fisher, Jackie Spearley, and Karen and Bill Shoup for their help with putting on the show. Could not have done it without you. And then there's Sharon Merkel. Sharon was in publishing, I'm in publishing, so we connect. So she's going to take care of designing the exhibition booklet that we'll have for sale in a short while. She's a professional designer. It is first class all the way. I want to thank the judges, Frank and Sarah, for their time and their judging expertise. And I also want to thank our sponsors again, Dan's Camera, Friendship Framing, Debbie is here. Hello, Debbie. Berg's Print Studio. And finally, I want to thank you, the members, for supporting the club and making this show possible. I must say, almost everybody waits until the last minute, and I'm like freaking out, like, oh my God, I don't have enough images. And then they just come roaring in. So thank you. Thank you very much. The show runs until Sunday, May 5th, and of course I encourage you to visit again and invite friends and family. The admission to the museum is always free. That just happened, I think, last year, so that's nice. And it's open Thursday through Sunday. Please make a note, they're closed this coming Saturday. They have their big gala, and it will be closed Saturday. So with that, thank you for coming, and let's do some awards. So first up, I have to do this. So this image by Joan Pasternak called Stormy Weather. This won the Janet Dean Memorial Award, and I'm going to read something about Janet Dean. Janet Dean was an accomplished and award-winning artist in photography, painting, and pastel. She served as exhibition chair for the club. The award is graciously given by the board in her memory. Janet's work centered around seascapes and landscapes, and this award celebrates this passion. So this goes to Joan Pasternak. Thank you, Joan. Absolutely. We're going to put these back. Where's my team? Yeah, that's a great idea. Oh. It's these things. Just put them underneath. So first up will be Frank Smith. So he's going to go through his honorable mention. We're going to go from honorable mentions all the way up to best in show. Oh, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, Don, first of all, thank you. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. Good. To start off, let me say thank you, and also maybe another caveat to that is when Don asked me to, be one of the judges here, I thought, this is my home club, so I love the fact that I get to see so many familiar faces, and it's so nice to see all of you. But the challenge, though, is that I have the opportunity to do a lot of judging in different parts of the country, but the challenge is that this is the most difficult one. Why, you might ask? The reason being is it is some of the most quality work I have the opportunity to see. And I'm not saying that just because it's my hometown. I'm being extremely serious about this. I had the good opportunity to work with Sarah on this judging. Sarah and I are very much aligned in our way of thinking and also in our way of judging, and even consensus with respect to the images that we've selected. But it was hard. You heard Don say, took us 2 hours, and the reason being is because there's such good quality work. So I think it's only fair and appropriate that you guys give yourself a round of applause. I'm very proud to be affiliated with this club because quality with a capital Q is what is here. So it's just such a blessing. So I'll quit talking and let's jump into the...
So you've got the, so these are yours right here. So we're going to start with Alton and you go down.
All right, and we're going to, so first up, as you can see here, is Alton Knight Mosaic Maze. And Don had suggested maybe I just share a couple comments, what appealed to me in regards to that. And symmetry, I love symmetry. I love geometric figures. And it's very hard to photograph something like this because if you're a quarter of an inch off, it is going to show in the image. So the photographer here did an excellent job in making sure that all those elements are in there. And again, to me, it was a lovely opportunity, a lovely image, and just spoke very well to me. So congratulations to Alton, and I think Alton's supposed to come up here. And
Alton's not here today, I believe. So.
Oh, I wasted all that air, and he's not even here.
We are recording this.
All right, Alton, if you on the recording next time, you got to make sure you show up here. All right, sorry. All right, next up is a lovely image, and for those of you that may or may not know, I do a fair amount of architectural work, so this really spoke to me. And as a matter of fact, in one of my architectural presentations, I spent about 2 hours underneath Interstate 78, just with different focal lengths and so forth, photographing the underside of that bridge complex there. And when I saw this, I thought, oh my gosh, Frank, you didn't do that. This is absolutely lovely. So it really spoke to me, and I love the geometric aspects of this. And Sharon, where are you? Come on up here. Hey.
Oh, congratulations. Did you get a picture of it? Show your ribbons.
All right, next up, the image is titled Local Women on Steps of, and I'm going to ask Natalie Ventikich, if she's here, to help me pronounce the name of the fort, because I have no way of, I don't know how to pronounce it. So is Natalie here? Oh, bummer. I was anxious to
Would you mention the category that they're in?
Okay, I'm sorry. So the category under this is travel, and we are still in honorable mentions. So let me share with you one of the things that I really like. That, again, symmetry. You kind of get a little message there that I like that sort of thing. And I am very fortunate because the one country that I travel to the most is India. So I'm assuming this is in that general location. And I just thought it was lovely. The timing of this, you know, a lot of times we don't get to pick the timing, but we have to be prepared as photographers to catch this. And she did an absolutely outstanding job in capturing it at that decisive moment. So when you have a chance, look more closely at it. And again, we'll give a round to Natalie. Next on the list, we have the category is nature, and the selected image is Spiked, and it's by Lita, and I don't know if I saw her here today yet. All right, so Lita, we're going to have a talk about that also then. So the image, it was interesting, Sarah and I consulted quite a bit on this image. We looked at it, and it's a harsh image, you know, but it's nature, and it's real. And, you know, you heard me mention in the previous comments about decisive moment, and of course, this is clearly the decisive moment. Post-processed beautifully. The light is just lovely on it. So again, I encourage you all to take a close look at it sometime after the event. So, for Lita. Next up, in the open category, the image is Radishes, and this is by Mark Gittleman. Mark, are you here? Mark, come on up here. Let me share with you again. So this is an image where it is very apparent to me that he just didn't put a couple radishes in the corner and decide he was going to get his Instamatic out and take a quick photo. The amount of work and detail that went into this, to me, is extremely obvious, and it's just so lovely. The lighting on it, you know, if I had a critique on what to suggest to do differently, I would not be able to add anything to it. It's just a lovely image. So, congratulations. I am going to hand the podium over to Sarah now, my partner in crime for this. Sarah?
Good afternoon, everyone. First, I want to thank Don for the honor of selecting me to judge the show, and the privilege of judging the show, because there's just some amazing work. When Don contacted me, he goes, like, I know you live far away, which I do. Can you make the trip? I said, your club is legendary for quality, and I really would like to see what you have, you know, and be able to judge it. So thank you, and thank you all. I'm not thanking you for the headache of looking at all of these and trying to pick the best, but it was a challenge, but, you know, like Frank said, it was a rewarding challenge. So our first one, I will be 100% honest, I did not want to like it. But when I saw it, because it's overall dark, and I kept coming back to it and studying it, and this is one of the most well-seen images that I've come across, in that the timing of this, I don't know if you could see it from a distance if you studied it, but you've got a construction crew working in front of a mural of a construction crew. I mean, it's an amazing capture. You've got these angles, these people carrying whatever foam board or wall board, and in there, there's another worker carrying boards. It is just, talk about the decisive moment. It really is. So technically, it might not have been the best photo here, but it was brilliant capture in noticing this. and the timing of this. So congratulations. And this one, Elizabeth Copeland, working together from the people category. Elizabeth, you here? Okay. And well, from what I heard after the judging from someone else, it was a drive-by. It was like shot from the car. So wow. Yeah. This one from the nature category by Eric Loken, Thirsty Pride. This caught me immediately because it drew me in. The engagement of this is so high. You'll see this lioness looking straight at the photographer and at the viewer. This one is kind of suspicious as to what's going on. So you've got the story going on here, but this is the most compelling thing right there, the eyes looking right at you and bringing you in. So this is another one where the timing was just wonderful, and the tones, and it's very, very well shot and very well processed as well. So congratulations on that.
Did you announce these?
Oh, I did. Eric Loken. Also in the nature category, from Jacqueline Burke, Into the Surf. What I really loved about this is the motion. You're seeing the surf moving. It was a very good choice to make this a long exposure, and a very risky choice because you've got an animal in motion and managed to keep that animal sharp. You see the same repetitive motion from the penguin and the surf, and you've got a nice kind of spiral going on here. So the composition is great, the choice of exposure is great, the shutter speed, and that animal kind of just mimicking its environment. So really, really well executed. So congratulations, Jacqueline. This one from Open is from Alan Canner, Unstill Life. And I wish I had known the title when we were judging it, because that would have been added to the experience. But I absolutely love the whimsy of this. Seeing this kind of transpire, and it's not real, but it almost feels like a painting. I love the way everything is lit and everything is kind of three-dimensional except the background. So you've got this kind of diversity of imagery and style. The colors are great, but it's just a movement. It's the movement and the looking at that and saying, so how did he do that? You know? And but very lovely work. So Alan, is Alan here? Okay, this one is Lee Levin Friend, Watching People Down Below, from the Open category. And the first thing that struck me about this was the unusual perspective from seeing people from above like that. And if you notice, there's one person who seems to be looking back up at you. The color treatment, this again, the movement and the kind of spiral kind of brings you around, and you keep moving through the frame. You're not stopping really at any one place. And the use of textures, I personally am not a fan of textures because to me, it's often used as a way of saving a bad photo. But in this case, it's used very judiciously, and it fills up this background, and it doesn't clutter up the people at all. So it's a very, like I said, judicious use of that technique, and a lovely composition. So congratulations to Lee. And now I'm going to turn this back over to Frank for the best in categories.
Go ahead, let's get a picture.
Excuse me. Amazing stuff, guys. I'm telling you, absolutely amazing. So, I have the honor of presenting the best in categories, and we're going to start in the best of abstract. And the first image that's going to be up is called Dreamscape. And Barry McMickle is the winner of that. And if I may take a moment just to share some of the things that caught my attention on this. First of all, the post-processing on this is lovely. And at some point, Barry, I want to find out what it was you did to accomplish this, because I just think it's absolutely lovely. And there's a nice flow to it, and it almost has a circular flow to some extent, even though it's very graphic and straight lines on certain aspects to it. So my eye looked at it, it wandered around, and it ended up kind of focusing in towards where the action is, and I just thought it worked very well. So Barry, are you here? All right. Beautiful. Next up is in the category of Best in Landscape, and the title of the image that is winning this category is Solitary Tree. And Lauren Roman, are you here? That, well, regardless, allow me to share with you what caught my attention on this. And it's interesting because Sarah and I deliberated quite a bit on this one. It's beautifully simple. It has a softness and a texture to it that just is so inviting and so comfortable. And a lot of times when I'm judging, I'll look at it and say, do I want to hang this in my house? And this is clearly one of those images that I just feel so good about that. So good job to Lauren on this. And I don't know if she's not here, so we'll move on to the next subject then. All right, well, let's hear it for Lauren. Next in this, under the Best Man-Made is the 8th Avenue subway entrance, and this is by Rich Cox. Is Rich here? Rich, unbelievable. Allow me to share a few comments about this. I am an extreme fan of architectural photography, abstract architectural photography, and I know the difficulty in shooting this, even though there was somebody that told me a subsequent story that it was a quick shoot. When you're doing wide-angle work with architectural elements, again, as I mentioned earlier in the abstract category, if you're a little bit off on where you're positioning it, it's going to be very, very obvious to the audience. But I must say, you captured that eloquently. It's absolutely beautiful. I want to go there and photograph the same thing, so that's absolutely beautiful. So anyway, congratulations. It is just absolutely lovely. Next in the best category, we have A Moment to Choose, and this is by John Stritzinger. And I don't know if I saw John here. Does anybody know if he's here? So let me share with you what, again, caught my eye. And there's a very creative element, and I'd invite you to study this afterwards. If you look at the people on the right-hand side, they are absolutely tack sharp, but the people on the left-hand side, almost a ghosting effect. So I would be hard-pressed to believe that this was a single shot. Regardless of how he accomplished it, I just think it blends so well. And the symmetry, of course, of the primary background area is just lovely. Add to it those elements with the people that are obviously moving, and some very static, and some with a beautiful soft glow. So this is one I really, really enjoyed. So let's hear it for John. I'm going to turn this back over to Sarah.
Okay, from the Best in Floral, this is Karen Campbell's Cucumber Root Flower. And what I really enjoyed about this one is even though it's a static flower, it's moving. You could see all the circular motion in the way these petals are, or whatever parts of these flowers are. I'm not a botanist. But everything is kind of moving in your eye, keeps traveling around and around. And the use of complementary colors just works so well. And it's something it happens in nature, and nature knows what it's doing. So kudos to you for seeing that and recognizing it. It's a lovely, lovely photo. So, Karen? Stay here, Don. So for Best in Nature, some guy named Don, morning nibble, and the first thing you get is the connection with the eyes, which is always, important in any kind of living creature. But not just the eyes, you also have the tonality that's lovely. You've got highlights, you've got midtones, you've got shadows. But the moment, I feel like I've walked up to this little baby who said, uh-oh, what did I do? I've been busted. And it's just that moment, am I okay? And it just resonates so strongly in this photo. Both the quality of the photo and the moment that was captured. So good work, Don.
Trying to drop it.
From our open category, Bobby Turner, Birds of a Feather. And I chatted with Bobby just quickly here because it's a composite. I do a lot of composites, and I'm brutal when I judge them and review them because to me, you've got to kind of trick the brain in the right way, and this does it. The composition is beautiful. She placed all these elements, again, you're going to hear this as like a broken record, in this beautiful spiral that takes you through. You can see it's silhouette, but it's not. You can see some detail and some highlights. And the feather, the concept of flight coming from the basic tool of flight is just lovely in concept, execution, the background, the tones are held beautifully. It's a lovely contrast. So very, very well done. Okay. Best in People, Joan Zachary for Her Own World. What I really love, first of all, excellent choice making this black and white because I think color would have completely detracted from what was going on here. This is all about shapes. You've got repeated rectangles all over the place. And you've got this beautiful light and shadow play. And then in the middle of all these rectangles, you see this very prominent triangle of the body. The body itself is made up of a number of triangles. So you've got this just break in the repetition. And you've got the lighting, the pose. This is one of those saying, gee, I wish this was mine. Because, it really resonated with me. So just fabulous. Drum roll.
Yes, drum roll. Now both judges will comment on Best in Show.
Well, this is the most difficult part of the show and the most rewarding part of the show. And as I mentioned earlier, when Sarah and I were going through the process, we used a method in where we would take little sticky notes and we each had our own color, and we started tagging images that didn't matter what categories we were judging or anything like that, just what caught our eyes. And one of the things that's really nice is when there's an opportunity to work with a judge that is very similar in your way of thinking, because in photography, there's a very subjective and a very objective part to it. And again, I don't want to speak for Sarah, but...
I'll correct you if you're wrong.
All right, fair enough. As we were going through this, the stickies on this image just screamed at us that this was something special and unique. And for me, again, back to that symmetry, back to that graphic element, has the high key effect. You're not going to see any detail in the whites. And again, depending upon what the image is, you could get dinged really bad for that. But wow, it just caught our eyes, my eye, and Sarah, if you want to add anything
I kept coming back to this because it's another one of these, like, bothered me that it was so glaringly white, but the impact. I mean, it's just the only way you could describe this is impactful. It has those lines, all those leading lines and all those shapes right at this portal where you see this figure walking. So you're told, you have no choice but to look right there. And the way it's just balanced and imbalanced at the same time. It's just fabulous graphic work. I mean, it really is.
Is John here? Oh, John, shame on John. Well, let's give a round of applause to John. So before Sarah and I conclude on this, Don's going to have some final wrap-ups, but one of the things we were talking about is in a show like this, again, very, very difficult, very, very hard, and there's that subjective, objective component to this. And I'm assuming you're going to be around for a little bit, right?
I'll stick around.
So if any of you would like to tag either one of us afterwards and say, you know, what could I have done better, or why did you select this, or any question at all that you have about our collective judging, we're here to try to answer that, because we learn by asking questions. And so we really, you know, if there's something that we can help you with, we're collectively glad to do that. So please feel free at the appropriate time afterwards to tag either one of us. So.
Sure, I'll be happy to say yes, Frank.
With that being said, it has been an honor and a privilege to
It really
judge
has
this
been.
show
Thank
again.
you,
So
everyone.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks, everyone. Thanks so much for coming. We have lots of food to kind of get rid of, so eat, 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 eat. We're thinking about doing, and I have to get it approved by the board, but we may do a Zoom presentation with all the images and having Sarah and Frank comment on each one and what they thought they liked about each one. You can opt out of it if you want, that's fine, but I have to put that together, and might be something you folks would be interested in. So anyway, thanks again.